problems and let them know that nothing is impossible.
Mhm.
And so, and that's what I do. I teach technology now to both adults and to underrepresented youth in our community. And as an international Microsoft channel partner, president, a former president, you're able to tap into what's coming up next with Microsoft and share that, whether it's AI, Copilot, or Microsoft 365, the entire suite, and so much more. But I also tap into other software and then begin to introduce you to that software so that maybe you have a first generation college student. Let's get them prepared with hands-on project management. Maybe you're running a small business and you're still doing everything manually. So what we do is we help you automate and we basically empower you so that you're not having to rely on others to do the work that you yourself can do. We start you with the fundamentals and we continue to build you up so that you at some point can run your IT department or hire someone to come in and assist you. And so my passion has grown. I still love fashion. That will never leave me. But one thing I do really, really enjoy is technology. Can't get enough of it, and it's ever growing. And so,
Wow.
yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So, you work with women, you help young women believe that they can, no matter what their circumstances. And so, when women decide to have a business and business owners,
Mhm.
how can they better leverage the technology to help grow and scale their business sustainably?
I think it's so important to stay ahead of the curve. Don't be intimidated by new technology. Right now, a lot of folks are intimidated by AI. And so it has its advantages and it has its disadvantages. If you use AI in the wrong setting, it could really prevent you from having your own personal touch. While at the same time, putting together a if I'm doing a draft of a building, I do project management in construction. I do project management in technology. But let's say I have a building that I want to change the front of that building, and I want to give it a more modern look at what have you. Well, of course, I can use some AI to help me with that design with the proper prompts. But at the same time, you don't want to lose that personal side. Maybe as when you're using that AI, you want to make sure that prompt is indicating the proper trees, the right colors. That's where your individualism comes in. However, if you use AI always to write a book about something personal or what have you, need to make sure you have your personal touch. So you're using technology to do that, which is, there's different forms of AI that you can use, whether it's Chat GPT, Microsoft has Copilot, Google has Gemini, and the list goes on. But you want to make sure that you understand what's new, what's innovative in technology, and get the education.
Mhm.
A lot of folks say, I'll just figure it out. Well, you're wasting so much time trying to figure it out when you can come to a company like Zip and Go Assist, where we will walk you through the fundamentals and basically do hands-on training at a phenomenal cost
Mhm.
and make sure that your company is IT sustainable. So that's important. Don't What I highly recommend is that you try to get away from manual processes because they do take longer. And there are regulations, state and federal regulations for protecting your customer data, your employee data, and your business data. That's intellectual property.
Mhm.
So, and then implementing systems. I think that's the main thing. Even hairdressers, believe it or not, should have a system in place. You're
Mhm.
tracking your patrons' hair care growth. They're how if that patron is on a medication and it's
Mhm.
causing you're noticing there's some shedding of the hair,
Mhm.
um, and or they're stressed out. You should have some type of a database so that when you talk with your customer, you can say, "Hey, I noticed the last time you came, you told me you were on a certain medication. How has that been going? Are you still on that medication? What can we do to maybe curb that service to enhance hair growth?" even during that time. That's why a system in place where you can look at that data and analyze how you can better support your customers.
Awesome, awesome. Now, there's a lot of women that are intimidated by technology. Real quick, can you give us some tips to keep women from being so intimidated by technology?
I think the main thing is I think of Canva. Canva, they have a conference once a year. And so you can go, or Adobe, Microsoft has them all the time, and tons of different software companies have events. Take
Mhm.
the time to go to some of those events. Some of those are free, some of those may cost you something. But to avoid that intimidation, don't be afraid to say, I don't get it. Can you explain
Mhm.
it to
Mhm.
me? I
Mhm.
remember being a college student, and in that room, there was no one in that room that looked like me, not one person. The only African American woman, and on top of that, I had a baby in a stroller. I was at a PWI, and so you can imagine, here I am with a baby in a stroller, and I'm asking questions about, well, I was coding in COBOL language and asking questions. And I said, you know what? I don't understand. Can you demonstrate that on the board? Don't be afraid to ask.
Right.
And I
That's
think
the
that's
thing.
the thing. If you don't know, say, I don't know,
Oh,
and
no.
take
Oh, no.
copious notes,
Mhm.
right? And then think about how you can map out how you can use technology in your business to build your customer base, to build your own personal growth as a leader, you know?
Mhm.
So I try to incorporate technology in everything that I do, except for personal relationships, of course, our
Awesome.
relationships with our spouses, with our children. Um,
Wow.
we're doing technology just by texting with them, but sometimes just pick up the phone, right?
Right. Right.
Don't be
Awesome.
intimidated.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Awesome.
You do a lot of different things outside of technology, and you have this
Yes.
retreat that you have coming up. And I've been so blessed to have attended your retreats. And so you have another one
Yes.
coming up. So I want to tell women about this retreat because it was so powerful. We were just speaking about, um, self care, and those are some of the things that we learned and we really got an opportunity to experience at your retreat. So I want to tell people about your retreat.
Well, our retreat occurs once a year. We have a retreat for the ladies, and we also have a retreat for the men. And so this is called Kingdom Queens, and it's an all inclusive silent retreat. So, what is a silent retreat? It's a retreat where you go and a silent retreat is where you're really not there to be dumped on, and you're not dumping your things on anyone. And so what you're doing is you're there and you're getting the massage. While you're there, you're also getting a hand parfum treatment. You also have a counselor there, a clinical psychiatrist who is there, who is a Christian, beautiful Christian marriage family therapist, and actually a doctor based here in Long Beach, California, who provides counseling, a 30-minute session with you. In addition to that, there is sound therapy. Believe it or not, our heart rhythm, our heart responds to sound. They're now finding that, and I'm loving um, the previous panel list that was on, and that oxygen, right? Well, the body now has been known to respond to sound. That's why we love music, right? We love the rhythm of music. Well, in addition to the rhythm of music, we also, with our bodies, they are now finding ways that cancer can be healed through different rhythm in with cancer, avoid to heal cancer. So a beautiful day, lots of healthy food, endless food, sound therapy, music, you name it. So if you're interested, please don't hesitate to reach out to Dr. Berry, and she'll share some more information with you. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me today.
You are very welcome. You've definitely been a blessing to Courageous Woman magazine and our platform. You've been here many times. I've been in
Thank you.
several of our books as well.
Thank
So,
you.
and the most recent, I'm Still Standing, which is an amazing
Yes.
project that I work with Dr. Donna Ivy. So that's been a blessing. And that book is going on tour. So I'm excited about that.
Well, thank you. It's been an honor. Have a beautiful Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy, prosperous New Year. And
Awesome.
choose joy. That's all I can say is choose joy, not the past, but choose joy. Have a
Yeah.
beautiful day. Thank
You,
you.
all right. Awesome. We're gonna keep it moving. We have a couple more amazing women that are going to be here tonight. Our next guest. We're gonna bring her back.
Oh my, you can't see me. Or you can't see me.
Yes,
Yay.
yes, yes, we
Hello,
can see you
Dr.
now.
Berry.
Hey, how are you, lady?
I'm doing well. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, listen, you have been, I see you everywhere doing your thing, being courageous. So give us that elevator pitch and tell them all the amazing things that you do.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Zakia. I am a culture and commercial loan strategist. I've worked in human capital management for over 20 years, worked for the federal government, 2 Fortune 500 companies, and been in business for myself for the last decade. And what I do is I look at organizations and help them build a culture where people feel like they can belong, where they can thrive, whether it's looking at their SOPs, standard operating procedures, strategic plans. And I do this not just for organizations such as the federal government or nonprofits, but even religious institutions, educational institutions, because we all want to be in places where we feel like we're being heard, valued, and respected. And another vertical that we have within the ANI project is Biz Funding Unlocked. And that's where we help business owners, entrepreneurs gain funding when the banks say no. And so I think later we can talk a little more about what that looks like.
Awesome, awesome. So you are a leadership strategist and founder of the ONI Project and a Biz Funding Unlocked trademark.
Yes.
I love it when I see the trademarks. That means you're on top of it and doing what you need to do on a whole nother level. So, why is psychology safety so critical for leaders and organizations such as such success, especially for women leaders?
Oh, that's a good question. Psychological safety changes everything. It's the foundation. If you think about building a house, you have to have a strong foundation in order for your building, your home to be secure. So the foundation allows people to speak up even when it's uncomfortable. They don't fear that someone's going to ridicule them for asking a question. Just like the last speaker said, when she was in college, when she didn't understand, she felt safe enough in that environment to raise her hand and said, I'm not understanding this. Can you help me understand further? Be innovative, be creative. People are not going to treat them differently because they have an idea that's very different from how they traditionally do that in that particular organization, whether it's at work, in a sorority, fraternity, at church. And they question when something doesn't resonate with them. They ask questions, clarifying questions. We've all been in environments where people say, oh, well, that's just the way we've always done it. That's not necessarily, no, that definitely is not the correct answer. Especially in this day and time, we want to be able to challenge what's being done, making sure it's streamlined and it makes sense for where we are now. And so it's simply leading boldly. That's what psychological safety is. For women leaders, especially when we're navigating so many different things, whether it's wellness, our family, where there's bias in the environments that we show up in, scrutiny, and there's such a pressure to prove that we belong to be there. I think we've all probably been in a room where we're the only one, either the only person of our ethnic background, the only woman, maybe the only person with a disability. And sometimes we second guess ourselves. And so when psychological safety is in place, we don't shrink in that moment. We actually strategize. We feel empowered, and we don't have to mask to lead unapologetically. It creates a level of trust in our teams that we're working with. We can be stronger decision makers and have healthier cultures. So psychological safety, it's a tongue twister, especially with these braces, y'all. Isn't a perk. It's a performance strategy. I want to repeat that again. It's not a perk. It's a performance strategy, and we want to perform high in any organization we're in. So the work that I'm doing centers around helping leaders and those in leadership positions. And I say it like that because we all know some people are in leadership positions who are not leaders. But if you're in that position, you signed up to be there, I'm talking to you. I help you build cultures where people feel safe, seen, and supported. Because when that happens, people rise, teams rise, and performance always rises.
That's true. It's a lot of people in leadership positions that we don't know how they got there, but they are there. And sometimes they need to, they also need a leader. They need to have some mind shifts or some things that they need to shift in their own position. And so tell us about that. What common mindset or culture shift do you see leaders needing most right now to help people and performance thrive?
I think understanding that the time that we're in right now is unprecedented. It's very a lot going on, not just in our nation, but internationally. So we have to shift our thinking and still be very inclusive. But I use that word strategic again about how we execute towards our goal, whatever that goal is. We can still thrive. And I want to give an example of a lot of people may know me from the work I've done in diversity, equity, inclusion. I did that in the federal government. I did that with some other organizations. And most recently, when I was on my last federal position, leading at the executive level a program on diversity, people were nervous about the new administration change. And they were concerned that our entire program was going to be X. And so we were trying to figure out how to modify current trainings that we had already had, whether it was training that were in person or the ones virtually that would meet the policies for the new administration. And it was tense. It was really intense, but I had to break it down that what we're doing is not about, first of all, DEI is not a bad word. Secondly, all we're doing is about leadership skills. And so all we have to do really is change words and substitute them for other words. And then we have our training. So it was not a harder lift as one would think. And so that's also changing the mind shift when educating the leadership, the executive leadership, the political appointees, that it's simple. We're just doing leadership. We're teaching it in these words some people are offended by. I'm not sure why, but we're learning how to meet the objective of the organization. So in doing that, leaders must cultivate cultures with clarity. We have to be very clear about what we're doing and intentional. And so we have to have clear expectations, clear communication, verbal and written communication, and also have clear accountability. That's a word some people don't like to adhere to, but being transparent and accountable is where people can really see that what you're doing matters and there's no secrets there. And that's whether you're working in any type of organization, local government, again, religious, professional organizations. We have to be transparent and very clear. And so when we shift that mindset, people understand the why behind whatever it is that you're doing within your organization. They show up with high morale and differently, and they are able to be themselves. So I think shifting the mindset to focus on the goal, not so much the words that you're using, and people are able to be themselves and actually thrive.
Awesome. Now you work with a lot of entrepreneurs. How do you help women and entrepreneurs move from vision to sustainable funding and long-term growth?
One thing that I learned about 6 months ago, when we started this vertical within the organization and having conversations with people, because we work with almost 120 lenders. And I started with my photographer, and I said, hey, do you need to expand your business? He was like, yes. I know you said women, but women or men, but in this particular case, it was a man. And he said yes. And so when I start going down the checklist, do you have a business bank account? Do you have an EIN number? Do you have money regularly going into your business account? The answer was no. Then I went to my cosmetologist, very similar answers. Some of these individuals said yes on some, not all on yes on all of them. So that's when I said, I think there needs to be a educational and awareness component to what we're doing. And so that's why I started having this Funding Unlock courses once a month, where we have an education to see if you have these different things and the why behind it. Because if you go into Truist Bank or Bank of America, the level of scrutiny is much higher. But with some of the lenders we have, the bar is a little lower for entry. Like, the reason why I say that, if you went to Bank of America, they will want you to have your business bank account for maybe 2 years. For us, it can be maybe 6 months, depending on how much revenue you're generating. So what we do is we create awareness and opportunity. Lastly, there's an opportunity for referral. All the women who have been on this panel, if you have a business, so if you need funding for yourself, whether it's for equipment, whether it's for a line of credit, or you know someone else who does, it could be the car wash you go to. If you say, hey, do you need funding? They say yes. You give them our information. If they get funded, you can get 0.5% of whatever that loan was secured. So it's a win-win for everyone. We're helping everyone grow. We're not competition. We're just helping thrive in this, I love this phrase, in this uncertain time, and we have to help each other. The vision deserves, your vision deserves funding, but you need strategy to sustain it. And so that's what we do, and that's how we help entrepreneurs and women.
Awesome. You know what? This is such an important topic. I'm going to have you back, because I want to go into this a little more, because these are the questions that women often ask me, and I connect them with women who have these type of answers. So we have our monthly platform talking about funding and money this coming up January. So I want you to be on that platform. So
I would love to.
This is a live invitation.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. May I add one more thing?
Yes,
because of this new administration, and me being a federal employee and knowing so many people within my within my circle who are either laid off, the position totally eliminated, I was affected because of the changes in the administration. Now more than ever, we have to start thinking about it with an entrepreneurial mindset. One of my mentors, Dr. Avis, she talks about this all the time. She talked about it before, but now more than ever is the time for us to work together and be in business for ourselves. So I just had to give that shameless plug. If you're watching this and you're thinking about it, yes, now is the time.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And like I said, I want to have you on this important topic that's coming up. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of Courageous Woman. And if you want to contact her or connect with her, there's the website there. Thank you for being a part of a Courageous Woman. This is what Courageous Woman is all about. And that's why you are one of our top 50, because you are phenomenal.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See, I told y'all this stage is lit. It is lit. Now it's about to be on fire, because guess who's coming up next? This lady has been part of Courageous Woman probably since the beginning of time, since we first started 14 years ago. That's where I met this amazing lady, my sister, my auntie, my everything. She has been she's such a remarkable woman, and a woman of God, marketplace ministry. I'm gonna let her tell you all the things that she does, but she is phenomenal, and she is coming up next. Yes, she is Dr. Nicole Mason.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Let me tell you,
Welcome.
thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed each panelist. My head was going like this the whole time. Just
Yes.
phenomenal. And thank you so much for the invitation. I appreciate you.
Yes, yes. You have been here. I think I met you when the first print issue of Courageous Woman, and it was in a whole lot of years ago.
I know,
Yes,
it's like
in the
you
DMV.
meet people and you can't remember not knowing them
Yes,
because the relationship has just been so awesome and so amazing. And that's how I feel about you, our relationship, the phenomenal work that you do, and how you uplift others and the phenomenal work that we're doing in the earth. So God bless you for this work that you have put your hands to, and you have not turned back from this plow. So to God be the glory for
yes.
that. Yes.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. It has been a journey. It has been, God, I could say God is good. It's been a few days. I was like, whoa, it's too much. I got to go somewhere and sit down, but I haven't. And God is been a really amazing experience. How I even got into this space and to still be here and continue to serve women and men now. So we have been very blessed to be here. So,
Yeah,
and I
to
thank you.
start with a few $100. That testimony was
I
just
thought
so
it was
powerful.
$30. Okay,
Yeah,
$30.
I knew it was something small, but
Yes,
the
ma'am.
Bible is clear. It may be small to you, but when you put it in the master's hand, by the time he multiplies it,
Yes,
and it gives it back to you,
yes,
pressed down, shaken together, and running over,
yes,
it,
ma'am.
it just becomes a life force of its own, which is true in this sense.
Yes,
It's become a life force of its own. I mean, Courageous Woman magazine, Courageous Woman Men, all of that is just an output of your obedience, your faithfulness, and certainly God's favor upon all that you've done. So, again, to God be the glory.
yes, yes. God be the glory. So give us that elevator pitch because you got a lot going on, the preacher, attorney, coach, mentor. Tell us all the wonderful things that you do.
So, for me, whenever I'm asked this question, I always kind of, like, oh God, honey, I'm so complicated and complex, like most of us are. But I help women to show up great. And that to me is through what I like to call the framework of the A plus the three power C's. That is showing up authentically who God created you to be and doing that unapologetically, unashamedly, to be your bold, brilliant, bad self, and to be confident in who God has called you to be. And then be competent about whatever it is that you have been called to do, and certainly to do it with courage. And so for me, it was a no-brainer to partner with you on the projects that we've had the opportunity to partner together over the years, the Courageous Woman books that you've given me the opportunity to be a part of. And I always tell the women in my cohorts of writing that I learned how to narrow those words down through you. And how you would say, okay, we got to keep this one tight. This one is 200 words. This one is 250. And, for me, being a preacher and a lawyer, honey, I am very verbose. I could go on and on and on. But I thank you for those opportunities and, for training me and helping me to be able to give something powerful and impactful in 200 words, 750 words, 1,000 words, whatever the case might be. But I just thank God for you and every opportunity to be able to do that. And we've had some of the women who've come through my cohorts to also be a part of the magazines and, have that lesson and that teaching on, okay, she says 200 words, but not say more than 200. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. You were one that you were always asking, how many words is it? How many words is it? And we have to be precise with that because sometimes the layout is already designed, and my editor like, okay, you only got this much space, and so I have to tell. And some when we're like, no, I need more space. I need to be able to put this in. You never did that. How many words? And that's
right.
it.
Because for me, to be a good leader, you have to be a good follower. And I, over the years, have had some great leaders that I was blessed and honored and privileged to follow. And as someone said earlier, some of the people who were in leadership positions over me, God bless you, right? But you have to be a good follower to be a good leader. So for me, it wasn't about trying to push my own agenda. I was very grateful for every opportunity that you gave me. And I wanted to be sure that I was in line with and be compliant with what the rules were that you had for any article that I was able and blessed enough to put into your magazine. So again, thank you so much for that.
And you definitely contributed a lot of very powerful words, very encouraging articles. And they're still there. If you go to our website, you can find some of her articles there on our website at courageouswomanmag.com. So let's get into some of these questions. We got questions for you.
Okay.
Let's see. You walk in both the legal and spiritual arenas. How has your calling as a preacher and an attorney shaped your passion for justice and purpose-driven living?
So when I saw that question, I kind of chuckled and I said, I think it may have been the opposite, that who God sent me to the earth to be with my gifts, talents, and skills. It was just a natural progression. And what I mean by that is we are all given certain skills and talents and abilities. We come here to the earth with those. And when you begin to look back on your life and see what you have been passionate about, you know, what your makeup was. And so for me, I was always somebody who was about justice. I got into a lot of fights in elementary school because I spoke up about something that was going on, had absolutely nothing to do with me. But I was like, that is not right. Okay. I was the one that was telling on everybody, all of that, because I'm like, that's not right. You shouldn't do it. You know, I was the one in the family. You better not let nothing happen around me because I'm going to tell, I'm going to say something, I'm going to speak up. And so, you know, when I look at my life and I look at, I wanted to be a lawyer since I was 9 years old. I loved Perry Mason. My friends would be outside playing. I'm in the house. I'm watching Perry Mason, particularly at the end of Perry Mason when he would have the witness on the witness stand and he would just be giving them a barrage of questions and they would say, I did it. I'm guilty. And so justice, I came here with that in my heart. Advocating for other people, I believe I came here with that wrapped up in my heart because for as far back as I can remember, that's who I was. That's what I did. And so just the natural progression of it, you know, I was an advocate in the workplace. You know, it just seemed to me like who I was, God made those opportunities for me to then unpack that in such a way that now I can look back and really see, okay, this goes with this gift, this goes with this skill. And I think that's really important for us because your purpose should be something that you do naturally. And that's sometimes is where we get hung up because the things that come naturally to us are the things that we should be charging the most for. Let that go over the room. But those are the things that we typically give away for free because they come to us so naturally. So yeah, so for me, social justice, advocacy, speaking up for what's right, that's just who I am. And it's a part of my purpose, but I came here with those things wrapped up in my heart.
Because that's who you came here to be.
Exactly. Exactly.
So why is it so important for women to understand their voice, authority, and rights, both spiritually and practically in today's world?
Yeah, that's a great question, and to me, it's something that is near and dear to me because I have been able to minister to women for the last 25 years, and I've heard some doozies of stories. And I think it's very important that women tap into who they are in God, because when you understand who you are in God, it gives you a certain inner resolve, if you will. It builds you up in such a way that you're not easily persuaded one way or the other if it goes against your values, your morals. You speak up for yourself. You don't let anybody just take advantage of you. And so for me, it is so important that women not only know that they have the right to speak up, but it is important for you to hear yourself. And I've said this over the years that we have to learn how to think about what we're thinking about. Because when you start to really unpack what the messaging is and what the messaging has been in your life, that will let you know where you need to work on yourself. Because if you have been given a message your whole life that you should be quiet, you should stay in the back, you should not speak up for yourself, all of these different things, let somebody else handle it, you don't need to say anything. You really have to take a look at that because it has an impact in every area of your life. And so for me, it's really been about helping women to not only have a voice, but use your voice. Speak up for yourself. Now, one thing women gonna do, we're gonna speak up for our kids. Now, I've seen some women, they're meek and mild, they don't really say too much, and they've had some situations where they kind of let people do whatever. But you mess with them kids, and you're gonna see a different side.
Right.
But we need to be like that about ourselves also.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and particularly with where we find ourselves now in this unprecedented time, I love that Dr. Zakia said that, in this unprecedented time, we don't know which way we may find ourselves. So being able to stand up for yourself, taking your dreams off the shelf that you've written in your journal about what you want to do, now is the time to do it. But you need confidence to do those things.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You're talking about people always say, are you a mama bear? I'm a lion.
Right. No, how about a lioness? Because the
lioness, right.
Within the lion. You mess with those lioness her cubs, and
right.
see what's going on. The lioness is much more fierce than the lion.
Absolutely. Wow. So how do you help women align their faith, strategy, and courage when they are navigating a difficult life or career transition?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for me, everything is about our faith. There's a scripture in Matthew 9, the 29th verse, and I love the Passion Translation. And it says, "You shall have what your faith expects," with an exclamation point. And anybody knows me, I'm the queen of exclamation points. Okay. And so for me, it just lets us know that God is expecting us to believe for whatever it is that's in our hearts. And so you have to have faith when you talk about transition. And we all have had some kind of transition this year. Dr. Zakia talked about being impacted by the administration's tactics and all of that. I too was impacted by it. And really understanding that when you have this transition, no matter what it is, you have to apply your faith so that you won't lose yourself, lose your mind, lose all of what you have inside of you because it didn't happen the way you wanted it to. It did not come when you thought it should have come. It did not produce what you thought it should have produced. But yet and still, you still the same fierce woman. You still the same one that has all kinds of power on the inside of you. And all you have to do is take a step back, apply your faith, and believe that this is the time for you to do what's been in your heart to do anyways, So why not bet on yourself and take a chance now? That requires your faith to do it.
Awesome. Now, as a coach and a mentor, what limiting belief do you most often see women holding them back and fully stepping into their God-given purpose?
Yeah, the most powerful limiting belief that wants to make itself known in the lives of women is you're not good enough. You're not good enough. Who do you think you are? How do you think somebody is going to learn from you with your past? What do you think you're going to be able to tell somebody? All of those things go right to you're not enough. You're not the most qualified. And again, that comes from messaging. And when I say messaging, that comes from our childhoods and how we've allowed other people to speak over our lives about who we are. And that's why I said earlier on, this is why it's important to have faith and confidence in God and what God says about you and what God sent you here with on the inside of you. Because messaging, depending upon what kind of messaging you receive, it can mess you up. And I know a lot of women who are, in the words of Dr. Stacey NC Grant, bad to the bone, but yet they don't roll like that. They don't show up like that. But you're looking at them, it's like, you did what? You did X, Y, Z. Well, why you in that particular situation that you find yourself? It's because that messaging, it crops up and it pulls you back from not really getting to the height that you would get to. And mind you, a lot of the women, they are at some really high heights. They have soared and succeeded to some heights that other women wish they could be. But even there, they still have that limiting belief that they're not good enough, that they shouldn't be there. It's really a phenomenon that is interesting to watch it.
Wow. Woo! Very powerful. Now, what encouragement or call to action would you give women who feel called to make an impact but are unsure of how to begin?
Yeah. So again, I think it's very important to really get around some women who are confident in who they are. Get you a great coach or a great mentor. That's number one. And then get in community with other women who feel good about themselves, who are not catty. So you have to really be selective about the kinds of environments that you want to put yourself in, and ask around, okay, what kind of environment does that person create, or what kind of environment does that person create? And it's really important to keep yourself in those spaces until you feel like you have gained enough that you can move forward and then create your own space. That's what we're supposed to do. The Bible says, let the older women teach the younger women. And sometimes being older is not necessarily in chronological age. Being older could be you were doing something longer than the person, even though they might be older than you. So really having that mentor who is going to tell you the truth, number one, about you, being open to receive that kind of feedback sometimes, because it's not easy when you have to give somebody some reality checks, but you need that person in your life, and you need community that can shore you up, where everybody is in the group for the same reason. We're all shoring ourselves up. We're all in a place where we need each other. And so that would be my encouragement and my call to action. Find your mentor, find a community where other women are there. They're not catty. They're not trying to pull each other down, but they're building each other up. And that, I believe, has everything to do with that particular group's leader. And the leader has to feel good about herself. And the leader has to be vulnerable enough in that group to be able to say, girl, I ain't always had it all together. And there's some areas in my life that I'm still working too. I know what you see, you know, but there's some areas too that I'm working on. But I'm not going to be on social media talking about those things. No, I have community that I've created and curated for those kinds of conversations.
Awesome. This has been a blessing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being one of our top 50 courageous women.
Thank you. Thank you for the honor. I appreciate you so much for all that you do. And, anytime that I can connect with you, it's a blessing for me. So thank you very, very much.
You are very welcome. And we are going to close out, but I'm going to bring you back in a second.
Okay.
Woo! I told y'all the stage was lit. Tonight was very powerful. All of these ladies have been amazing. It's been an incredible night here at Courageous Woman Magazine Alive. You didn't just hear stories. We witnessed courage, purpose, and power in motion. And these women have truly, these ladies, Dr. Nicole Mason, Dr. Nicole S. Mason, Dr. Zakia Mabry, Natalie Solomon, and Terrellyn Fennessy. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart of being here, being part of the Courageous Woman platform. I appreciate each and every one of you. I don't see Terrellyn. Thank you all for being here and being part of Courageous Woman. From the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank you. And I am going to close out. It has been a pleasure to have you here. Thank you to our viewers for tuning in to supporting these phenomenal women and being part of Courageous Woman community. Don't forget to visit our website at courageouswomanmag.com. All you got to do is go to our website. If you want to subscribe, go to our website and put your email address in and you subscribe for free. That way you get a chance to know all the different things that we do because you'll be on our mailing list. And that's all. This is also this awards. There's a People's Choice Awards, and see that QR code right at the top. You can go there and vote for these women. You can comment for these women on their articles. Go there right now and vote for them. The awards will be announced on January 1st. So until next time, keep shining, keep leading, and keep walking boldly in your purpose. Good night. I'm Dr. Telishia Berry. Stay courageous.